Hi, this is a short video on some basics of string instrument maintenance and just how to put on a shoulder rest, how to tighten a bow, how to loosen a bow, those kinds of things. So first things first, I have my case here. It's important to know the difference between the top side of the case and the bottom side of the case. So on my case, the top pocket is broken and you can see that I have it safety pinned together. I don't put anything in the top pocket for that reason. But generally cases will frequently have a pocket on top that you can put things in. Just don't put as much stuff in it as I tried to put in it. And then the back side of the case, the bottom side, will be more flat, as you can see, and it'll have some hooks that you can attach straps to. You can also tell which is the top side of the case because the flap will be pointing down. So in general, you want to put the case flat with the bottom side down whenever possible. So especially when you're taking the instrument out of the case, but even like if you're in the car, you generally want to put the case like on the floor either, or on the back seat, but probably on the floor. Either you can put it on its side like this and just, make sure it's propped up, or you can just put it flat like this. But yeah, in general, it's not great to have it be sitting upside down. But yeah, it's not the end of the world if it does end up upside down, because that's what cases are for, but it's just something to be careful of. So yeah, I'm going to open my case and get out my violin. So here's my violin. So one comment about chin rests. This is the chin rest. It's where you put, chin rest is kind of a misnomer actually. Really it's actually where you hold the violin. It's more a kind of a jaw rest, because really it's, well, I don't know, I guess chin rest is not totally a misnomer, but I think it's important to know that sometimes students, I say this because sometimes students think, oh, that's where I rest my chin, and then they go like this, and they bring their chin to the chin rest, which is not really good posture, and it will be very hard to play like that. I'll cover that in another video. But yes, this is the chin rest. And on most violins, the chin rest is over here. This is the left side. I mean, FaceTime was kind of doing a mirror image thing, but yeah, it's on the left side of the violin. I've chosen to have one that's in the center because that's just what's more comfortable for me. But yeah, typically a chin rest will be right over here, and you can see here some cork actually stuck to my violin from where there used to be a chin rest here. This violin is very old and decrepit. But yeah, so normally there's a chin rest on the left side. Violins are held in the left hand. And so if I'm going to go put on a shoulder rest, I'm going to hold the violin with the back facing me and the front facing out. So it's going to look like this. And so the chin rest side, which is the left side, is going to be facing up. And the right side, which is the not chin rest side, is going to be facing down. Now here I have my shoulder rest. And as you can see, it's got one wide end and one narrow end. Now if you have a traditional, well, not really traditional, but if you have a shoulder rest that looks like this, that's rigid, the wide end goes up top on the chin rest side. So yeah, if you're holding the violin in your left hand out like this, the wide end goes on the same side as the chin rest. And the narrow end goes on the bottom, so the opposite side is the chin rest. So that's how you put on one of these shoulder rests. If you have a foam shoulder rest, then kind of the opposite is true actually. The smaller end goes up on top and the bigger end goes on the bottom. Now why is that? You might be asking. So, as you can see, if I hold it level like this, here's the wide end, here's the narrow end. The narrow end is higher up off of the violin than the wide end. And so whichever end is higher up off of the violin, you want that to go on the side opposite the chin rest. So I'm going to turn it flat. So normally this is your chin rest side, and it's got, it's closer, the shoulder rest is closer into the violin, and the opposite side from the chin rest, it's farther away. So yeah, if you have a foam shoulder rest, I'd put the small end here and the big end here. So yeah, just gonna reiterate that. So yeah, if I'm holding my string instrument, so violin or viola, in my left hand out like this, if I've got a foam shoulder rest, small end goes here, big end goes here. All right, let's go over some other instrument maintenance and just regular playing practices. So when you put your bow in the case, I'm gonna bring it over here, my camera. You can see that there's these latches that turn. So yeah, you just want to make sure that this is always latched and securely in. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and take my bow out of the case. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten the bow. So as you can see right now, the hair is very close to the stick. And so down here at the end, this part of the bow is called the frog. So down here by the frog, there's the screw. And I'm going to turn the screw clockwise until the hair is about far enough away from the stick to put a pencil through it. Maybe a little bit less. I've tightened mine actually slightly too much. Well, I don't know. Yeah, just about like this. Some bows, especially beginner bows, have different tensions, so you might need to make it less tight than this, especially if it's a small bow, like say for a quarter size violin, but generally this is how you want your tightened bow to look, and this is how you want it to look when you're playing. So next I'm going to talk about rosin. Rosin is, I think it's made from like tree sap or something, and it normally comes in a little box, or sometimes it will be like stuck to a cloth. Mine is like this. And for most students, especially beginning students, you really only need to rosin sparingly. So like every other day, or at very most once per day. So yeah, the amount of rosin you're going to want to put on is you just want to put on like once back and forth. More than that's going to get sticky. You might want to put on a little extra at the frog and at the tip, but yeah, you don't want to put on too much, otherwise it'll get very sticky. Another comment about the bow is you want to make sure not to touch the hair, because obviously we have oil on our hands, and if you get like skin oil onto the bow hair, it gets really slippery, and then it's very difficult to play. So yeah, we don't want that to happen. Kids really love to whack things with their bows, but that's not great either, obviously. So generally it's good to encourage kids when they're not playing to hold their bow just in their fist like this, because you want to make sure that they're not holding it like by the tip, or you want to make sure they're not holding it, around the middle, like around the hair. Yeah, so how to hold the instrument generally like in a safe way for kids. So when they're not playing, you can have them do what's called rest position, which is generally you want to have kids put their left hand on the left shoulder of the violin like this. So it looks like that. Again, this is mirror image. And then, yeah, they can hold the bow just like this in their fist. Or what they can do is you can also have them like make like a little L with their finger, and then you can have them stick their index finger in between the stick and the hair at the frog, and you can put your thumb on top. Traditionally in like Suzuki violin, when you hold the violin like this, you hold the bow like this, and you tuck the violin under your arm, that's called rest position. Very handy teaching tool, just to make sure everyone's instruments are safe and that there's not total chaos going on where like some kid's holding the violin by the scroll or like, yeah, like, you know. So yeah, that's it in regards, oh wait, never mind, that's not it. When done playing, you want to loosen the bow. So you want to turn the screw counterclockwise. And you want to turn it counterclockwise until the hair is close to touching the stick, but not like flopping everywhere. Yeah, you want to make sure that the bow doesn't get loosened too much, because otherwise the frog can come off. So yeah, you want to be pretty careful when loosening it, just in terms of like, I'll show you what too loose is. Like, so see how there's like hair flopping kind of like, and it doesn't look compact anymore? That's too loose. So you want it to be loose enough that it's close to the stick, but like not so loose that like hairs are almost coming off. Yeah, so then when you're done playing and to put the violin back in the case, always want to make sure you take the shoulder rest off. And then I can just put my violin away. And I have these little straps on my violin case that I use to tie my violin in. A lot of cases have Velcro. Some cases don't have anything, but yeah, if you have those straps or Velcro, yeah, then make sure that your instrument's secured and you can close the case and zip it up. Yeah, that's it.